guess it's the hindsight of knowing what happens and then being able to pass that along to your loved ones in the past. I don't know. It's like 20-something years, I still don't know what I could say to somebody in the past I had an argument with that would change it to that. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Link Click. We have a board, and with the board comes the board change log. Sorry, a little zoomed in there. There we go. The difficulties of the layout and the board. Essentially, the board change log is that I added Shen, Zhao, Lu Lei, and Lu Hongbin. Of course, we have Shen is an enemy of Lei Lu because he's on the opposite team. He has met and has hired Kuao Ling. Of course, also met Lu because, Lu stopped him from grabbing her because it's a weird thing to do. Anyway. And friend of Lu Hongbin, who is himself also an enemy of Lu Lei. But this is all past stuff. Oh, actually, sorry, I completely forgot one that I'm gonna have to add after I'm done here, is that Shang and Shen, the is currently occupying the body of lines that I've been doing with the orange. Completely forgot to do that for some reason. Been a rough couple of days health-wise, so I apologize. Some stuff has slipped through the cracks. Hopefully not so much with the notes, but I will say this ahead of time. I do not have as many notes as before because mainly it was a basketball game, and I don't have a lot of notes on basketball. Before I forget, though, once again, thank you to Rogue Knight for sponsoring these, as Rogue Knight is our current... Sorry, this is actually the word to use. Rogue Knight is our current patron who is supporting the watch of Link Click. That said, though, I do have notes. Last September, a female body was found by the river, presumed to be a victim of suicide. However, new evidence has come to light. The police are considering foul play. That is something said in a news report that we hear as what's her name is running along before Shang tries to grab her. I went back and I rewatched the opening of episode 1 to verify that my notes weren't wrong, and they weren't. Emma was found dead in April, so when I heard that news segment at the start of last episode and cooed that they were bringing Emma back, or not Emma back, they were bringing Emma up again, excited that we might not be moving past that storyline, I must have been wrong. Despite the fact that they reported that they thought Emma had also committed suicide, this new dead woman died 5 months after Emma, showing that this isn't referring to that incident. I could say it's unrelated, but since the show is drawing our attention to it, it clearly isn't. My current theory is that either we have a serial killer on the loose, unrelated to our whole time travel thing, and it might be the future target of a client down the road, or just personal interest of our main characters. Or the original idea I had in episode 1 that this is related to the time travel, and the unnamed woman was Lin or Yu. Insane thought. They hid the killer's eyes from us in the one shot we had of him. We wouldn't know who he is, so there would be no reason to do that. Unless his eyes were golden, aka Chang was occupying the body at the time. Lu says they have to correct when time goes wrong. who's to say how extreme those corrections wind up being? Again, I said insane thought. So, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm not, I warned you ahead of time that I was saying something insane. Chen's list. 1. Lost the game. In English, because as I've said this many times before, I react to it in Chinese as was requested by Rogue Knight. But when I rewatch it in English because it's easier for me to pick up on what the characters are trying to imply by the inflections that they give in a language I am native to, right? So when I say that he says something different in English, that's where that comes from. So he says lost the game first in Chinese. In English, he says failed a friend. You can go two completely different ways with that one. Number 2 is missed my first love. And number 3 was got into a fight with my mom. I have to wonder why Lou says that nothing will be affected. That is a lot to go through to have 0 consequences. So I assume that there's going to be some sort of twist to all of this to make it, well, I assume that there was going to be some sort of twist to all of this to make it not affect the future, except for the fact that we have already just won the game, so the future is changed. But, I'm sorry, I think I have a future note about my specific problems with that as well. Not so much that they may have changed the future, but more so that they might not be able to change the future in actuality. Which I guess goes against my insane thought, the idea that they would go back in time and kill Emma themselves. Anyway, I'll come back. Since the question has been lingering about fixed destiny versus being able to change the timeline, I have to wonder if whatever Chang does here is the source of Chen's problems. The difference between sub and dub is throwing me. If they don't lose the game, then obviously not, but I could still see that he could fail a friend. Lou could see his sudden skill as an attempt. Sorry, by Lou I mean uh, Chen's friend Lou, not Lou uh, in the overlay. Lou from present time, who does the future sight thing, or past sight, as it actually is. Lou could still see his son's skill as an attempt to outshine him, or the Flash as on purpose, or the injury becoming permanent and costing him in the long run. A lot could still happen there. Versus if they lose the game and then win the game, being a not an if and. Sorry, I was trying to put it into different terms. Anyway, you either lose the game or you win the game, right? Versus failed a friend is much more into it. You have to figure that out. Did you fail a friend by winning the game? Or, there's a lot more there. Speaking of that friendship, by the way, Lou and Chen, not very far off from Lou and Chang. As per, I should have switched the order of those notes around because I just kind of explained it in my other note. The naming difficulty when trying to talk about these people. The end of the episode, and by the way, this is my last note. The end of the episode lines up with something that I talked to Lessons about not too long ago in one of the Gundam reactions. Failure setting up for even better outcomes. All too often in video games and the like, if you don't succeed in one venture, a lot of players will just constantly reload saves in order to continue and not lose. In those cases, you never know what the storyline might have been where you lost, because it could be better than the one where you win. What if, by losing, you are given opportunities to advance that were not present where you won? Victory now does not have to mean victory later. I suspect that might be what's at play here. Chen's life as an architect may well be the better life, whereas victory in the past may lead him to pursue a life in basketball, which his teacher has already alluded to might have no real future due to where they live. So, I mean, that's my main takeaway. That Lou, looking at the problem here is that Lou only looks at 12-hour time spans. So he might, I don't know, that's been a question. Can Lou only see 12 hours, or can he see the whole past? We haven't really nailed in what Lou's power set is. Because he seems to imply that nothing will change based on if they just lost the game. Which would mean that he can see past 12 hours, because otherwise he's only assuming that if nothing changes in 12 hours, nothing changes at all. And I have to think that Lou is better than that. He is younger of the two, as we covered. Chang is the older person there. But I don't think Lou is making dumb assumptions like that. Which then has to imply that he can see all of time. Because it seems like maybe not all the time. Maybe he doesn't know the future, but he certainly knows present to past. So, yeah. Anyway, my main takeaway there was that maybe failing as he did gave him the better life, and that victory now means failure later. That said, though, those are my notes. So I think nothing left to do but to go ahead and hop on in and see what next episode brings us.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, so we're right back at the end of last episode where he's going to pass it to a teammate who makes the shot. Okay. That goes to the 12-hour conversation that I had. So losing the game as a node is what he's saying. So here's a problem, though. If he wins the game, why would he go and hire them, right? It's literally an element of, I've been watching for some reason the Doctor Who versus the Rick and Morty death battle a lot lately. Or at least people's reactions to it. And the, erase you from time gun from that death battle. If you fire the gun and erase somebody from time, then you never existed and the gun never would have had been fired, versus you now exist though, so you have to fire the gun. Right? So it's a paradox. If this guy had a good life, why would he go to them about their whole picture thing? Right? And if he doesn't need to go to them about the picture thing, then they never go back in time and change his past. Thus invalidating all of the things that happen. Now, is Leilu going to do something regrettable?
开外照总行吧？走，陈潇，别打闪光灯。
Oh, we're gonna go into what I said. And none of this should happen because he doesn't send you to go take the pictures or travel to the picture to begin with.
重要的事件节点一旦被打破，新来的，别愣在那儿了。2.2缺个人，来不来？那么之后的过往都可能将被改写。
You never met Lou because basketball became a more important thing?
他怎么了？比赛结束之后就一直在发愣，不会是兴奋过头脑血栓了吧？
陈潇，别碰我！队长，对不起，我想一个人静一静。
Was that the failed a friend thing?
人呢？
Or are we well past that now? You caused yourself not to meet Lou?
停下！
Never mind.
你个鸟人，怎么现在才冒出来？吓得我差点退出照片。委托人的话都写在字条上了，不知道乔玲放在哪儿了。现在找着了，看你着急忙慌的样子，总算知道瞎胡闹的后果了吧？靠！刚才你还跪着。
Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought the future that Lou was in had
事
changed.
件的节点的确已经被你改写，但最终结果却依然如初。啊？那是为什么？
陈潇，赢了比赛，相机都不要了。
一兴奋给忘了。哦，对了，后面我们是不是要和其他队伍打比赛？这样篮球馆也就能名正言顺的保留下来了吧？
No, he said that probably wouldn't happen.
其实今天的比赛不论输赢，校领导都已经决定要将这里拆了盖新校舍。
Yeah, he told you that. Well, he told the captain this.
队长，我们下一次是不是要到县里打比赛啊？哎，对呀，再拿下几场，这样学校一定会支持我们把校队办下去的。没准儿还能帮我们把球场再修缮一下，改成木地板，配上大灯，哇，完美，太棒了！
I mean, this isn't even like
是告诉他们实情吧。
the championship game or anything. This is just a game.
谢谢教练。
说了叫老师，老师，这孩子今天怎么了？对，太棒了！对，是啊，这次太棒了！传那球传太帅了，也一样。
程小石，你别忘了还有任务在身，保留点体力。
I mean, I guess this is one way that they
这能有多累？
keep this going. I thought this was going to change everything, but it turns out it's really just the introduction of the concept of the node.
大乔跑断双腿，机车超级加倍，为什么吃苦的人总是我？
真的，累的话就放我下来，我自己能走。没事，这点运动量算个啥？
So assuming we're past the failed a friend thing,
那正好，趁现在把委托人的话带到吧。
we still have to deal with lost love and fought with mom.
话说，你小子篮球打得那么好，怎么没早露两手？害得我当初拉你临时当替补的时候，心惊胆战了半天。队长，我有话想跟你说。
Or is Lou here the lost love? Maybe I'm just too fucking old, but I would be so fucking scared about going down hills like this.
妈呀，你腿咋子了哟？不会是摔断了吧？
呸呸呸
At that speed, I
能
mean.
走过人过过的吗？
打球又不来钱，又不长见识，恁个拼命值不值得嘛？
他就是委托人的初恋。
Okay, I was completely wrong. I thought the way that we were going on with the whole music and countryside thing that I was right, but the moment she appeared, I knew I was wrong.
你谁啊？怎么没见过你？啊，沉香，哎，你眼镜呢？不戴眼镜还真没认出你啊！
嗨，打球的时候被人踩碎了。
天哪，你们今天是去打球还是去打架啦？一个瘸一个瞎，都疯了吧？
啊，可以喽，妹妹。
She does kind of look like Zhang.
纪念下。
纪念。
She does kind of look like Zhao,
纪念的。
making this kind of a Lu Cheng Zhao mirror.
萌萌，你是不是书读多了，脑缺氧面瘫呢？能不能笑一个？
萌萌，你就笑一下。3、2、1，瘸子。
I guess having her called Meng, though, kind of ruins the whole naming mirror thing.
你俩也配着。
为什么？
今天陈潇可让我长见识了，灌篮3分样样都行。
什么？陈潇，你还能灌篮？
Again, this has to harm him in the future,
看动画去了。
because real him can't do that, I think.
收起你的狐狸尾巴。
你就别装了，站过来。
哎呀，讨厌了，人家不要嘛。
程小时，
别磨叽了，趁着夕阳无限好，赶紧的。嘿，我说，你俩是正负极啊，能不能凑近点啊？
程小时，手爪。
3、2、1，瞎子。
I guess it's the element, the same thing as the basketball game, right? Can't be successful here, or it might change the node. Whatever the future coming up node would be.
陈潇，今天谢谢你啊。
没事，助残扶弱，举手之劳。那我就先撤了啊。
等等，萌萌，
嗯，
你送送人家陈潇呗。
Not that Lou isn't trying to help you out immensely. Yeah, clearly I was wrong about maybe the friend harboring resentment against you. He's trying to help you a
我
lot.
们要做的就是把话带到，其他的一概不管。
哎呦，我这心都快跳出嗓子眼了，可想而知他当时多想表白了。哎，那到底是表了还是没表啊？
陈潇，原来你不戴眼镜的样子还挺帅的嘛。
哎，人家女生都先主动开口了，我到底是接还是不接啊？
And yeah, assumedly original Chen
陈潇，
wouldn't have lost his
情
glasses.
况吧。
哦，听你哥说起过。
我们是同母异父，所以我爸希望今年中考结束，让我到他那儿去市里上学。但我，
陆光，我该怎么回答？
Are you going to the city too? I don't know why you'd be happy. I don't know what the context of this letter is.
好，阿公。
Oh, to meet up later down the road, I guess.
拉钩。
Now, what's the fight with the mother going to be about? Hope it's not something stupid like glasses, because obviously you wouldn't regret that for the rest of your life.
之后他俩还是会错失彼此。
哦，只要节点不变，结局就不会发生。
Oh no, is she going to be the dead body? it doesn't matter because she just fucking
好吧。
died?
你说的总没错。
If she turns out to be the dead body, well then I was gonna say it'd be the serial killer thing, but it could still be related to time.
我错了，我认错还不行吗？
现在不务正业，不好生学习，以后就跟你老汉儿一个德行，还关心干啥子？去点菜。
Home shrine though.
就2个人，准备的这么丰盛，吃得完吗？
哪个晓得你老汉儿啥子时候回来？从来不打招呼，万一到家不够吃，要怪我没照顾好。来，你多吃点就不浪费了。
So is the fight gonna be about Dad?
别光顾着吃，还有一场架没吵呢。
You've still gotta start the argument? I don't know why, I just assumed she would start the argument.
妈，今天听刘萌说，他下半年要去市里读书了。我什么时候也能去市里啊？
来，肉都帮你切好了，拌到饭里头吃。
So he's gonna go to the city
要去市里打
to
工
be
啊
with her,
要不就
and then the fight is that he
我要
can't
去找份
go.
工作，然后
你走，要走你现在就走。反正你们一个个的都往市里头跑，就把我一个人丢到家头，都不要管我嘛。你老汉儿去市里头当啥子小报记者，每天人都不晓得在哪儿，是死是活我都没得消息。
Probably doesn't help that he left to be a tabloid reporter and you're a photographer in the same
只看
field.
到一张新照
Not
片
same
都
field,
没得。
photography though.
我就说嘛，你跟你老汉儿一个德行，不读书，不务正业，你真的要有本事，你就去考个状元，读个好学校，把户口落到市里面，把我们都接过去嘛。
陆哥，商人的话我开不了口。
那就趁早完成委托吧。
什么？你确定我就按你读的说吗？
I guess thankfully he just wrote everything out for you to say.
没关系，即使没有争吵，结果也并不会发生改变。
I guess it's the hindsight of knowing what happens and then being able to pass that along to your loved ones in the past. I don't know, it's like 20-something years, I still don't know what I could say to somebody in the past I had an argument with that would change it to that.
太反常了，这次的任务到底是怎么回事？
Yeah, what the fuck happens that doesn't change anything?
委托任务完成。
唉，今天运动量超负荷。
Does everyone fucking die?
吃饱了再
What?
走吧。
还是家里做的饭好吃啊！
哎，不要着急哦，还有一碗面哈。
怎么又是面呀？不行了，已经到极限了。
哎呀，听话嘛，这个面你必须吃。
对不住了，真吃不下了，告辞。
你忘了嗦，今天是5月12号，你老汉儿的生日。他人回不来，但是这个长寿面我们要吃噻。
As per Chang's whole family issues as well.
吃多了，今天是2008年都不晓得啦。
来了来了，谁啊？一大早的。
程琳，
程小石，你怎么了？
新闻上说，昨天半夜发生了大地震，死了好多人。
Fuck it, I called it.
爸爸妈妈会不会也在那里？他们会不会？
And then his mom and dad issues rise from that too.
别傻了，
It's more insight into Chang though.
他们应该是去了更远的地方，一定会平
so hard when characters are fucking emotionally honest.
小肖，小肖，你说话是不是哪儿不舒服？哎，小肖，你快点说话。
程小石，退出照片。
原来如此，
你在跟哪个说话哦？
我知道为什么你会这么反常。无论中间的过程如何改变，最终的结果
Everyone's gonna fucking
都
die.
难逃一劫。
在某些时光里会有一个重要节点，就算不小心改动了之前所有的进
Then
程，
why are you freaking so much about the fucking
但只要
basketball
那个时间
game?
节点的事件结果不变，那么
I guess some people could have survived
一
from
切
that.
都将修复如初。
他们都会死，是不是？
好，阿公。
阿公，
So Chang just wanted to send a message back to people while they were still alive.
我出去一下，马上就回来。
哎，你喊我啥子？阿姨。哎，天都黑了，你要去哪儿哦？
But you don't know where they fucking died.
程小石，你救不了他们，他们早就已经死了。你所看到的只是过去的那一小段时光。更何况，死亡是无法跨越的重要节点，你再努力也扭转不了他们的命运。
So rule number 4, we can't save anybody.
你我现在的生活也都不复存在。
Oh god, this episode's fucking end at the worst points. I thought I was right about how could nothing change. And the only thing I could think of was they die, and I thought maybe I went to like the atomic factor on that one, which is, you know, what's the most extreme reason why things cannot change? Well, if you die. But it really does. Sorry, as y'all know, we react to these things live. You know what? I'm gonna wait. We have notes in the comments. I'm gonna wait until after the wait. There's no next time on. I forgot. There's nothing I need to wait for. We have a couple of things that I've been waiting to bring up. Phil Fisher has said it's one of the reasons I'm calling attention to the lack of nets. The people in charge don't even care. You're wrong, Phil Fisher. They do care. We've covered this last episode with a conversation with the teacher, not coach, teacher, is that they're going to be expanding the campus, which means that they're going to be destroying that place that used to be a factory, a car factory. It's not that they don't care, it's that they care more about the academics of the kids than they do the extracurricular sports activities. So, for the time being, this place was just a place for the kids to spend their time. They're going to be expanding the academic side of things. To your last one, Theta, have you watched Marvel's Loki TV series? Yes, I've seen all of it. I have seen all of it. Rogue Knight, also in the chat, says, so I did research, and that date is very famous for Chinese viewers. I compare it to us hearing 9/11. In 2008, over 69,000 people died, and 374,176 were injured. Yeah, I mean, I would assume it'd be no more different than saying the Fukushima incident if you were in Japan. Sorry, I don't know the name of the earthquake involved in it. Fukushima is the only thing coming to my mind. Like, recent events, events of recent history. I mean, here's the thing. I can still handle it out of context. I think the thing that you've actually introduced here is the fact that it's real. I didn't know that it was actually a real thing that they were invoking, because it's anime, right? They haven't really introduced the concept that this takes place in the real world. So, still, though, the element that they all died. For me, it's more of a seeing him as a kid, right? And now we know that his parents didn't just leave him, that they possibly died. and that he is sitting here in this photo shop waiting for them to come back. Although, at this point, though, you kind of have to accept that he knows that they're dead. So this isn't an element of Lou is withholding information from him like I kept throwing out there from the beginning. I have to think that if Chang is still just, like, waiting for them, that is self-delusion. Especially with, what's her name? Zhao? Zhang? Sorry, I keep forgetting her name. Also, Q names. Chinese Q names are hard for me. Harder than normal, I should say. Zhao. He's known her since they were kids, right? That was Zhao in the flashback, and not some other kid that I don't recognize. I don't know, maybe she put that out there, but she would have to be pushing really hard that your parents aren't dead for so many years that he would still believe it. I mean, I get hoping against hope that your parents are still alive. But yeah, again, for me though, it's the element I keep pushing out that Lou is hiding that he knows. And the only way that still works if they are still alive and Lou knows that they're alive, but I don't feel like that's the thing. So Chang is just living with self-delusion that his parents are still alive, even though it's been... I'm assuming this took place in some sort of modern time, so what, 17 years ago? Hasn't come back in 17 years? Sorry, 2016. 8 years, right? Sorry, let me go back to my notes. I forgot what year I put this down as taking place in. I didn't list a year. Did I? I could have sworn I listed a year. 2021. That's where that. Literally, my episode 1 notes. We know now is April 16th, 2021. At least that's the year it was during the first episode. So, 13 years. He's been living with this knowledge for 13 years. I think at some point you just kind of have to accept it. Like, even your friends should not be encouraging this behavior because it feels self-destructive. Not for nothing, to the point that he says, I will hang myself in this Photoshop and you won't be able to sell it to anybody else. That's an element of self-destruction, I feel like. It does add a lot to his character, though. It doesn't answer any of my stuff for Lou, but it does add a lot to his character. Also, our first 3-parter. Also, I mentioned that maybe that girl dies, and maybe she's the one who's found in September. Obviously not if she dies in the earthquake. And again, I apologize if I'm not handling talking about the earthquake with the due reverence that maybe it is required to have in that culture. I can understand with that many deaths that is such a horrible thing to even think about. But I'm still coming at it from the perspective of having just watched a show where during the reaction to the show, it wasn't the thing that was real. So again, it's more Rogue bringing up the fact that this is based on a real earthquake and this is in the real world. I apologize. For me, though, that September dead body finding thing, still a major plot point that I'm going to be holding on to, because that's not Emma. Emma died in April. They say this new body is in September, and then they say things about it that is similar to what they said about Emma, which is eminently confusing to me. But gotta keep track of it. You know, my worry that it was Lynn or you that they found there, and that we are just losing people from past jumps somehow. Yeah, I don't know. God, this is a hard day for reactions that we're watching that involve a lot of stuff that gives pause and context to. We just got done watching Apothecary Diaries that had a whole thing that I went on for quite a bit about. And here, the element that everyone's going to fucking die. We now have nodes as a part of our rule set that wasn't invoked with our original rules. And, you know, Chang's whole backstory and what that means for the last, what did I say, 13 years? Oh man, you almost killed me, Phil Fisher. Sorry, I have two things. One, I've mentioned before that as a result of the medications that I'm taking, swallowing hurts. Well, apparently so does choking back a laugh, because that really fucking hurt. Phil Fisher wants all of you to know that he was talking about the results of the game regarding his statement about the people in charge not caring. Apparently, he really cares what you think, and I'm not going to behoove him misrepresenting him to you since I'm the one who brought up his comment. Well, I know not to do that anymore. The choking back a laugh, I mean, specifically. Yeah. So I think that's going to be it here. Anything that comes from this is going to be in the next notes. So, once again, thank you to Rogue Knight for sponsoring this. But this is going to be the end of this episode. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?